They assemble at night, each one having prepared as diligently as possible to the time given to them before the witching hour, the hour of reckoning, the time when they begin outdoor cartoon television. Stray Cast is on the air.
Fish it out.
The black moon is creeping in. Out here in the stars, there are no perimeters. Out here, we are Bass Immaculate. I am Pat Renwick. Another Wednesday night. Straight Cast Outdoor. I have no idea. Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. Your hump day relief for the bass fishing fever is happening right now. Hey, another giganticus bass-filled episode tonight here on StrayCast.net. We have coming on the show a bunch of champs, a bunch of champions. It was Trace Champions, but now it's Dos Champions. Coming up first, Seth Feider.
Yeah.
Seth Fighter. Woo! Yeah.
Oh, I like that gas.
Yeah, did you hear the live studio audience that this show is being filmed before gasp when they heard
No.
Seth Fighter was coming on? That's amazing. Also, Aaron Martens coming on. Aaron Martens, yes, gasp again.
Ooh.
Aaron Martens at the 7:30 hour. There it is. Unfortunately, Gerald Swindle cannot come on tonight. He's, yeah, that blows. But you know what? Gerald's just went through a knee surgery. As a lot of you, yes, as a lot of you know, and Gerald's hurting. I'm going to be straight up with you. He's hurting, and we're going to reschedule with Gerald Swindle in the next couple weeks, so we'll keep you posted on that. But in the meantime, oh, yeah, and old Brandon Trope is in the house, too, on the casting couch. Say hi to BT. BT, nobody can see you, but they know you're here. Now they know you're here.
I swear he's over there.
I'm going to start around the horn. I'm going to go around the horn and let everybody know. Hey, and by the way, if you are tuning in for the first time, keep in mind we are live here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m., bringing you the nation's top bass fishing professionals on StrayCast.net and YouTube channel, StrayCast Outdoor Cartoon Television. To my far left over here, El Presidente of StrayCast Outdoor Cartoon Television, the mythical beast, the Southside Smallmouth Samurai, El Chapito, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Berggren. That's Bobby B. And that is Bobby B.
Hi, Bobby.
That was beautiful. That was one of your best introductions.
Thanks.
Yet.
I'm really excited about Aaron Martens tonight.
Dude, I can see
Seth.
it in your eyes.
And Seth. And it could be the 3 cups of coffee and the Red Bull, too. I don't know. I'm not sure. Over
You
here.
had shotgun that Red Bull.
Ooh-ah, ooh-ah.
Ooh, kitty.
JP Kitty. He's just a white boy from the Windy City.
Yeah.
This is our buddy right here, JP. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi, JP.
What's up, boys? Gonna be a show.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeehaw.
I mean, chances are, I don't know. So,
Yeehaw.
do I have to call you JP Kitty, or can I call you by your real name, JP Hi?
You can call it whatever
Hey,
you want, man.
JP. Well, what do you prefer?
What up, Pat?
What do you prefer, man?
It doesn't matter, man.
Hey, over here to my right.
Let's have a vote on our comments. on
we're
the
going
YouTube
kitty.
Yeah,
channel.
well, we need
JP or JP Kitty.
Yeah, I like the kitty meow.
No,
or
it's,
JP the HHF or JP the hip hop fisherman.
He's
or JPD is what I'm going by.
he's
now.
our very own
JPD.
stray cat. Meow. Meow. Your nation's leading top petite bass fishing model, co-creator of the popcorn tightrope Pequeño firework jig. This right here is Ryan Whitaker. Ryan Whitaker. Ryan on the right. Ryan on the right. Hey, you know what? I got a confession. All the pros are here.
That's
That
right.
is that is correct. I have a confession to make. Hey, we bring you every week, as I stated, the top bass fishing professionals in the country, in the universe. And you know why I do it? Because I love talking to these guys and learning from these guys. And I hope that you enjoy it too. Hey, we'll be right back. Seth Fighter, right here. Stray Cast, outdoor cartoon television. Don't you go nowhere.
Slayer Reel Tuning is Chicagoland's #1 reel tuning expert. Whether you need your reel tuned up, souped up, or basic maintenance, Ben Botcher, the Reel Slayer from SlayerReelTuning.com, has your reel needs covered. Ben is the official reel tuner of Stray Casts, and he can customize your reel to your exact specifications, like new ball bearings, drag washers, clean reels, and the latest and greatest handles. When it comes to reels, go to the best and contact Ben, the Reel Slayer, and get your reel tuned to perfection and back in no time. Go to the website, SlayerReelTuning.com. That's SlayerReelTuning.com. Take your fishing to the next level with Stank X Bait Company's soft plastic baits. Stank X is a family-owned and operated soft plastic company for Midwest anglers, and their goal is to make baits for anglers that are soft yet durable and continue to help you put more fish in the boat. Stank X has a full selection of soft plastics to suit your style of fishing. Every bait is handmade by Travis Crossman, and he makes sure that every bait is flawless. Check out their next level plastics that are airbrushed to perfection for ultra realistic paint jobs and fish catching action. Check out the full line of products at stankxbaitcompany.com. That's stank, the letter X, baitco.com. Take your fishing to the next level with Stank X Bait Company's soft plastic baits. Stank X is a family-owned and operated soft plastic company for Midwest.
Welcome back. Straycast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm Pat Renwick. What can a poor boy do except tournament bass fish and lead the path, blaze the trail for ruling the world? Hey, right now we are proud to bring to you, ladies and gentlemen, Seth Fighter, right here on Straycast Outdoor Cartoon Television. Yeah, Seth. What's up, dude? How you doing? What up, Seth? Hello, hello. Hey, say something.
Can you hear us?
He can't hear us. What are you doing, Seth? He's gazing into the camera. I can see it now. It's
like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, maybe you got to turn your volume up.
He's got that 100 miles.
Oh, we lost him. We're going to try him right back. Is that what we're doing? We're going to try Seth Fighter right back. We're calling him up right now on the old Skype machine. Calling up.
That was a great cover by the Ramones.
Yeah, that was good. Of the Stones tune.
Oh yeah.
You
How
like
have
that?
I never heard that.
I don't know. It just happened. What up, Seth?
Can you hear us now?
He's still not hearing us. That's on his end. Can you hear us now?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there's Seth Fighter. Ladies and gentlemen, Seth Fighter right there. What's up, dude?
The volume was turned down.
Yeah, you know,
I'm not good at this
sometimes
stuff.
if you either turn it on and turn it back off or you know, whatever it takes, you know, sometimes you got to charge the whole thing up, dude. But welcome to the big show, man. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know, you're blazing a trail, dude. You are blazing a trail. Are you
Yeah, it's been the last good 2 weeks, man. It's been fun.
Are you coming down off of Cloud 9 yet, or are you still up there?
I think it actually just hit me yesterday. Like, everybody kept asking me, has it hit you yet? Has it hit you yet? And I thought it did, but it kind of sunk in yesterday for me. It was a pretty special 2 weeks I just had.
Absolutely, man. And seriously, you had an iconic couple of weeks right there. Second place in Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
And then you just won the big derby in your home stadium right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is awesome. That is awesome, man. I mean, and second year on the tour and making some waves right there. Making some waves on the charge. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Seth Fighter's up there, guys. In case you didn't
man.
know. Hey, Seth, say hi to my buddies here. These are the Water Warriors.
What's up, Seth?
This
I'm
is
Ryan.
Ryan Popcorn Whitaker.
What's happening?
That's JP Kitty, not JT Kenny, but JP Kitty.
Meow.
All right.
Yeah, and that's the Southside Smallmouth Samurai over there, Bobby Berggren.
Howdy, howdy.
Yeah. These
see
are. Come on over, Bob. Those are the Water Warriors right there. Hey, you got a pretty special deal because you live in a place where you're from Minnesota, and you live in a place where a lot of people neglect our favorite creature on the planet, the bass.
The Supreme.
Yeah, you
It's
know.
walleye and muskie country for sure.
Yeah, you can have those things as far as I'm concerned, those walleyes and muskies, man, and you get to reap the benefits of some untouched pressure.
Yeah, we got some awesome bass fishing in Minnesota. We got a ton of really, really good lakes, and I mean, there's some lakes that don't even get bass fished every year. You know.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And you know, everybody thinks, oh yeah, smallmouth, Mille Lacs smallmouth, but there's a huge population of the greenfish too, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Like every lake we have has a largemouth in it. You actually kind of gotta. Everybody thinks Minnesota, every lake's got smallmouth in it, but you usually got to drive a little bit actually to catch the smallmouth.
Where are you at right now? Is that the Seth Fighter man cave that you're in right now?
No, it's my buddy's house, John Figgy. He lets me sleep in his basement.
Nice. That's awful nice of John, you know?
Yeah.
He's a good dude. Do you guys like play PS2 and stuff all the time down there?
No, he's like my team tournament partner, so we fish all the local stuff together.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Excellent. You so how much longer do you have in Minnesota to fish the soft water? I mean, will you be out there till probably close to Thanksgiving or before that?
Yeah, I usually fish till all the way through October, and then November I like shooting ducks, so it's a good time to do it. So get after them a little bit, and then January start heading south.
Yeah, I mean it's coming up, man, and you're in your third year on the tour. Do you feel that you have progressed as far as what you've learned? Not only as your skills as an angler physically, but your skills as an angler mentally. Has it progressed in your own mind in the last 2 years?
Yeah, for sure, a ton. This sport's pretty much a mental sport, especially, I mean, when you get to that level, it's not like people can't skip docks and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Everybody can do everything, and they're all really good at it, even if it ain't their specialty. So the mental game's big. I've learned a lot in the last 2 years. These big multi-day tournaments are a lot different than, fishing those one-day jackpots back home. You got to keep adjusting and keep making good decisions all the way through the event.
Hey, Seth, going way back to like 3 weeks ago in lacrosse. One thing, talking about mental. Now, this doesn't have to do with, I don't think, on the water, but first off, how was Elite Fest? Ducks or what?
It's fun.
Yeah. And, speaking of mental, I kind of heard that you might be a little superstitious in that I was told that.
I think we all are a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah, but I was told that you were kind of, during that tournament, as you were doing well, you were trying to do the same thing every night, like you left Elite Fest at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Every night.
That was a total deal. Eat a bunch of good food, drink, I think it was 14 beers, and then get up to the tournament next morning.
Nice.
Perfect, right?
Ryan's very superstitious.
Was
Seth.
it 14 beers every night? I mean, did it have to be 14 each night?
Well, nobody was counting, but that sounds about right.
Well, apparently you
Seven's
were.
a lucky number. He just wanted to double
Yeah,
it twice.
he doubled down on it. Yeah, and superstitious.
I did wear the same pair of pants for 2 weeks without.
Talking about him, this superstitious guy right here never wears pants during the live broadcast, so it's very uncomfortable for the rest of us over here.
I can't wear them.
It's
weird.
it's very uncomfortable.
If I'm not sticking to this chair, I don't feel comfortable.
You see how Seth backed off there? That was awesome. He's like, all right, I had enough of this. That's garbage right there. That's garbage, dude. I like that you're working on the length, dude. You got to keep growing that shit out right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll be on your level here in a little while. It takes commitment, though.
It does. And then you don't brush it. That's the whole idea.
And wash it once a week.
Once a week wash. That's my hair tips for the day. That's all you're getting out of me, dude. That's all you're getting out of me.
Just drive the boat fast, and it makes it look good.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it officially a mullet?
I don't think so.
I don't think I exactly have a mullet, but
It's just with the hat, it looks.
You kind of got to be buzzed on top to have a true mullet, but
I thought you said you had a Hemi.
Business in the front, party in the back.
It's a 1090.
Hey, all right, let's get a little technical because we have to appease some people that really want to hear technical stuff. But I would just BS with you about random nothingness for this whole time. But we got to get some technical stuff out of the way. You were fishing rock piles for the smallmouth on Mille Lacs, and
not exactly, more isolated boulders.
Okay, isolated boulders, size of your truck.
Hood of your truck.
Hood of your truck.
Yeah.
And pinpointing them. Now, are these all spots that you know? Are these history spots? Are those spots that you kind of knew about?
Not really, but that's a solid pattern on that lake. I mean, half the stuff I weighed in fish off of was stuff I actually found during the tournament. I was expecting the bite to be quite a bit different when I got there, and that ended up being the deal. So I just kind of went looking for it in areas that historically have big fish.
Gotcha. So, I mean, it seems like kind of a obvious question, but do you feel that because a lot of times anglers on their home bodies of water, history can hurt them just as well as help them? Did history hurt you or help you on this event?
I mean, it was a slow start. I went to stuff that typically is productive, at the beginning of the first day. I didn't really practice for this tournament, so I kind of started on stuff they'd typically been on that time of year, and wasn't having much success. Caught a couple of decent fish, but wasn't around a lot of fish, and kind of switched gears, and I ended up catching one off a big boulder, kind of by where thought I would catch them, and then I just started side scanning, looking for new ones in that same area.
There you go. Now, why did you pick the drop shot?
That's just bread and butter smallmouth fishing. I had three rods on my deck, but I had a swim bait and 2 drop shots rigged up. The swim bait deal wasn't really happening yet. I spent a week there last fall as soon as I saw it on the schedule, and did a lot of homework then. But the water temps were a lot colder when I was there, and that swim bait was the deal. So I had that on the deck, but drop shot, and that's just, I mean, you don't go to a smallmouth tournament without one tied on.
Yeah, and it was kind of the year of drop shotting, it seemed, on the elites. There was a lot of that going on this year. So,
yeah, I mean, it's just a great technique to get bit and catch a lot of fish.
So why would those big smallmouth? I mean, I know the drop shot is deadly. Okay, I know it's deadly. So, but why would they hit that? Why would they hit the drop shot around those boulders as opposed to dragging a tube through there?
No, a tube would have been a great option. A football jig's a really good way to catch them up there too. They are eating crawfish, but the bottom there is literally covered in zebra mussels. So anything you drag on the bottom really puts a big damage to your line, and I like fishing baits off the bottom on that lake for that reason. So that's kind of why I stayed with the drop shot. Just if you drag a tube, you're gonna break a couple off, and fishing wasn't that great where you were gonna get, you weren't gonna get 10 of them big bites a day. I was getting, about 6 each day, and I was lucky to land most of them. So it was just a gamble dragging stuff on the bottom for me.
The right tool for the job. That's what it was. That's what it was. I'm gonna jump back a minute and then jump forward. The talking about the psyche of professional bass fishing. How cool was it for you as a young Elite Series angler? And I'm sure this happened. Correct me if it didn't. But to have some of the icons and the legends and the dudes that you totally respect in the sport coming up to you after your win or after your iconic 2 weeks and being like, dude, you knocked it out. How did that make you feel?
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, I grew up watching half these guys on Bassmaster and stuff, and it's kind of a little shell shocked right when you start out fishing against these guys, but it's really cool to get, I guess earn some respect. Like if you catch them on the Elite Series, you get a lot more respect, and I hadn't really caught them yet in my previous year and a half or year and 3/4, so it's a really cool feeling.
So tell us a story about that, about one of these icons coming up to you. Give us something that sticks in your mind.
I mean, nothing super specific. It's not like I had great length conversations with him, but, just like guys like A-Mart was like one of my heroes, and he came up to me after the tournament and was like, good job. It wasn't nothing crazy, but it's still pretty cool, man.
Did you understand what he said when he said good job to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got most of it.
He's coming on after you, so we're gonna. You want anything? You got anything for us to tell him from you? By the way.
No, nothing really. Just, I don't know. It's kind of weird, He's like my hero now. I'm fishing against him, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You were like one of the most laid back elite guys we've ever had. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, whatever. It'll be. It was a good couple of weeks.
Catching some fish.
Or John Cox. John Cox was really laid back, but he's FLW. But he was up for a couple days, so that was awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Seth, going back to how you got yourself into the Elite Series, I was reading about it, and man, it was really impressive. I just want to say the way you got there. You fished. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you fished. It took you 3 years, 3 tries fishing the opens, correct?
Correct.
And you got 10th twice in
Yep.
points, and then 6th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome, man. But where do you have to be in points to make the elites out of the opens?
Well, technically they invite 5 guys a year, but the year I got 6, I believe there was 2 or 3 Elite Series anglers ahead of me in the points, so they went down to I think they went to 7th that year, so there must have been 2 guys ahead of me.
That's really cool, man. And then to know that you kind of strategized, right, on which opens to fish, just so you could, like, you knew you felt like you were gonna make the Elite Series.
Yeah, well, I'd only fished local Minnesota, Wisconsin stuff before fishing the open, so I don't know what it's like down south. It's all reservoirs and rivers and stuff I'm not really used to. I just fish natural lakes basically. And so the first year I did the Centrals just to see if I could catch bass down south and see what that was all about, and did fair. So that gave me a big confidence boost that a bass is a bass is a bass. And then I just fished the Northern Opens the next 2 years, just figuring that was probably my best odds of qualifying. There'd be a couple smallmouth tournaments in there, and mostly northern fisheries.
So did a lot of the northern techniques that you use, that your bread and butter, your drop shot and all that stuff, did it all kind of transfer to that southern fishing?
Yeah, it's quite a bit more power fishing than I'm really used to, but you can still catch fish, fish and finesse down there too. I throw drop shot, wacky Senko a lot, and shaky head stuff. So it's definitely a good way to catch fish down south, but it's definitely more of a power based fishing style down there. Chucking and winding.
What was the most difficult transition, like, as far as learning those new southern fisheries? What was the hardest thing for you to adapt to?
I'd say tidal waters have been my biggest weakness. It's just, I don't know, it never seems like we go to a good one at the right time, and it's like you can fish the winning spot like 2 hours early and not even get a bite, and like you don't even think it's any good, and then you find out 2 days after the tournament, you see like pictures and stuff. You're like, well, I fished there and didn't even get a bite, and the guy wins the tournament there. It's just right. that thing's caused me the most problems is tidal water for sure.
Wow. What's your favorite bass style jig for fishing smallmouth up north? Do you tie your own? I hear you got a secret little jig.
I throw a hair jig a lot in like the spring and early summer. But that was a Canadian deal that got showed to me. That wasn't nothing I started, but
you could take credit for it.
Great way to catch them.
Do you put a trailer on your hair jig?
I do, but it doesn't stick out past the hair. It's merely for increased casting distance.
Right on. Right on.
Who's next?
Oh, JP, you're up.
I'm giving these guys a round table. It's a round table.
I didn't know it was a round square.
It's actually an L-shaped table.
Hey, I heard something about that deal up there that you won. I heard you didn't practice. Is there any truth to that?
Well, the first day of practice, I fished a tournament down on Lake Minnetonka. The second day of practice, I went out for about an hour, tried fishing 2 different spots, and within 15 minutes, I had 3 boats around me. And then the last day of practice, I essentially went out for an hour or 2 and shot a gallery with Thomas Allen for Bassmasters.
So really no practice going on?
No, but like I said, I put my time in there last fall. As soon as I saw it was on the schedule, I put a lot of time in there. So, and I wasn't too worried about it. They're smallmouths. You can't get too attached to where they were a day ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So that lake, every time I go there, I fish a lot of new water, and it's it's that good of a lake that you're gonna run into them somewhere sooner or later.
That's awesome. He pulled a biffle.
Yeah, he did.
Remember when Tommy Biffle did that? Yeah. And they switched that tournament to Douglas?
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't going to learn anything on this lake I hadn't learned in the last 20 years.
And he said, I'm going to cut you.
Yeah.
Hey, do you ever go out fishing just for the largemouths there, or what?
Yeah, well, that lake used to be all catch and release, and we had tournaments there that were actually essentially just largemouth tournaments. You could only have one like mega super big smallmouth. So, years back when we fished tournaments there, it was all exclusively largemouth fishing essentially.
We had Kelly Jordan on last week, and he was so stoked about the fact that he really found a bunch of big largemouth, and it kind of shut down for him, obviously, during the tournament. But he couldn't believe what was going on. He was catching 6-pounders in practice.
Yeah, no, there's giant largemouths in there, but it's like any of them places, like Sturgeon Bay and a lot of the Great Lakes. There's good largemouth in there, but for every 5-pound largemouth there's 1,000 5-pound smallies in that lake. So it's just the odds aren't in your favor.
On a lake like Mille Lacs, how old is a 5-pound smallmouth, in your opinion?
I mean, I don't know exactly, but I mean, there's definitely 20-year-old fish in that lake, no doubt.
Jeez.
I mean, it's under ice for 6 months out of the year. They don't grow much. I mean, down south, bass get big quick, but I mean, they take a few years just to get that big.
Right. There's still a little bait. It's just bait.
Yeah.
What was your favorite lake besides the Mille Lacs, I guess, in the Mississippi River that you fished on the Elite Series this year? Give me one of the southern ones.
Cayuga was probably my favorite.
Up in New York.
Yeah, I like New York. It fishes a lot like Minnesota. It feels like home when I go there. So it's just real similar, natural lakes, clear water, grass, and that's kind of what I'm used to.
Lake Kajagoogoo. That's what we call it here. Lake Kajagoogoo.
Yeah.
Hey, Seth.
Cayuga.
That's it. Hey, man, you got anything that you want to shout out before we head out here, man?
Just if you want to catch up with me, I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Seth Fighter Fishing, and big shout outs to Rapala, Iowa, and Outcast for keeping the dream alive.
That is awesome, dude. Hey, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening and talking to us knuckleheads here on the air, dude.
No, that was fun.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
We appreciate the support. We'd love to have you on again. All right, dude?
Yeah, anytime.
Take care of yourself. Godspeed, Bass Warrior. Hey, Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television coming back with your buddy, Aaron Martens, after the break. Don't go nowhere.
I wish there was a jig that I could flip, swim, and drag with.
You need dem jigs.
Yeah, I do need them jigs.
Not them jigs, dem jigs.
Oh!
Custom hooks, hand-tied living rubber skirts, and an indestructible chip-proof head. Available in both football and the flip-swim style. Jigs built out of a necessity for the serious fisherman. Like Them Jigs on Facebook or order online at demjigs.com. That's DEMjigs.com.
Want some more exclusive JDM tackle? Join JDMTackleMembersOnly.com. This is a brand new membership website that gives their members the exclusive rights to custom limited edition Japanese baits in colors that cannot be purchased anywhere else. Sign up now and you will receive 2 free Mega Bass Vision 110s in Kasumi Tiger and Smallmouth Bass. That's totally worth the membership. Go to JDMTackleMembersOnly.com today.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
We're gonna fish it out. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Straycast Outdoor Cartoon Television. It's time for the Bass Buzz segment of the show. I'm Pat Renwick. You know what's happening right now? We have this dude on right now. Some people call him A-Mart. Some people call him the Furious Hog Snatcher.
Some people call him the Breeze.
Some people call him the Breeze. Some people call him the Natural. I call him the Mystic Man. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you Aaron Martens. What up?
Hey guys,
What's going on, dude?
I just got off the water like an hour and a half ago and rushed home.
Yeah, Leslie told us that. Are you nervous? Why are you nervous?
I'm not nervous.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
I had 5 minutes to spare. I was just driving home.
You did it, man. It worked out for you. It worked out for you.
I had to go fishing.
Where were you fishing?
I went to Smith Lake, Alabama, Birmingham area, north of Alabama. Birmingham. It's a really big lake. It's a deep, kind of clear canyon lake.
How'd you do?
It was actually really good this morning, and as it got later, it got pretty tough. Like the barometer went up, you got real high skies. They're hard to catch, but this morning they're coming off.
What were you doing out there? How were you catching them?
Mostly like guess you call it belly spins. Like the little blade on the bottom with like a little swim bait on it.
Sure.
Caught a few on top water, but it was real hard to get them to bite. The water is 80 degrees still, which is really unusually warm. And I don't know, it was real hard to catch. I had a bunch of stuff in my boat, and they were tricky. Like you'd throw on 5 or 6 fish that would blow up, and you'd catch like one. And a lot of times they were just out of casting distance, or they'd be like 100 yards that way, and you go that way, and then behind you 50 yards, like 3 or 4 of them would come up, and they're just up and down real fast.
5 bites, first hookup. Yeah.
It's just too warm. It's too warm still. They're real skittish, hard to catch.
Who were you fishing with?
My friend Warren Wyman. I've probably known him 25 years. He's actually still here. I've known him since the California days. We grew up fishing California together. He fished some of the opens and stuff, Bass Opens. I think even FLW and stuff.
Nice. Old time buddies on the water.
Yep.
It
was fun.
That's
It was
cool
fun.
stuff, man. Hey, I want to bring it back. I want to put things into perspective historically now, for Aaron Martens, okay? For your fans out there, for our fans out there. Now, I know that at an early age that you love fishing. You've loved fishing your whole life.
Yep.
Okay. Now, at an early age, you got into it. You're a fishing junkie. You love this stuff. Now, let's jump up to like an 18-year-old Aaron Martens. Tell us about an 18-year-old Aaron Martens.
I was really crazy about fishing then. That's all I wanted to do is fish. I mean, I did other stuff too. I hung out with my friends, and we went to the beach a lot. But fishing is what I love to do. That's what I look forward to doing more than anything at that age. And growing up in Southern California, fishing Lake Casitas all the time, Castaic, some of the San Diego lakes, they were really good back then. And the zebra scare now, the quagga mussel scare, you can't hardly go anywhere without having your boat quarantined or cabled for a certain lake. You can't go lake to lake anymore. But back then you could just, I'd fish 3-4 days a week and go to 3 or 4 different lakes, a different lake every day, and they were phenomenal fisheries. It wasn't uncommon to catch over 100 fish a day on a lot of those lakes and have a couple of giants in there. So just really fun. Yeah, I had it really lucky, coming back here. Yeah, I've had some really good experiences out here, but still nothing that compared to like Castaic in the heyday back when I was about 17, 18, 19 years old. You catch 2, 3, 10-pounders almost every day you go out. It was just really good fishing. You catch 45 to 60 fish in 4 hours. I'd go up after work or school and just blast them.
That's awesome, man. And did you have a little bass boat back in the day?
I had back then the most important thing to me was to find a boat. So I guess when I was about 12, 13 years old, or even earlier than that, I was always looking in people's yards. I'd see boats in people's yards, knock on the door. I was just looking for anything, a little skiff or
nice.
Just something to get me on the water. I mean, nowadays I probably would have been happy in a kayak back then. But when I was about just before I think I turned 15, my mom we both started loving fish. She started loving fishing as I got older. I got her into it, and my brothers really took me fishing originally. And my mom never really liked it growing up. Never got into it until she actually went out there and we caught him a couple times, and she got hooked right away on it. Got the bass bug pretty good. And after that, we actually bought a 18-foot Ranger, a 363 with a 150 XR4, I think it was back then, carbureted, and after we got a bass boat, we fished every chance we got.
She was like,
All
"Come
the
on, Aaron. Screw school. Let's go fishing."
We left. She'd pick me up before I could drive. Like last class, we'd take off a little early, 2 o'clock, and go to Castaic for like 4 or 5 hours and have a great time.
That's awesome, dude. And I remember reading Bassmaster as a kid and hearing tales of like Castaic, and wasn't that dude Ray Eastley or something? Who was that guy that caught that giant bass like back in the day?
Oh gosh, that's one blank on the name.
It had like giant eyes, man. I remember as a kid looking at the cover.
They used to trophy hunt out there. They would most of those guys would fish crawdads back then, and
Yes.
they'd double anchor. They'd slide an anchor out. They didn't think they threw some crawdads out. Some of the guys, like whatever, like kind of get them going a little bit. But they'd double anchor. I'd watch them. They'd set one anchor up, and I don't know how many feet of line they had, but they'd usually put it on a break or a big long point, and they'd like throughout the day they'd kind of drag their boats up and down that line, and like split shot crawdads. They get a lot of those 17, 18, 19 pounders that they were catching back then.
That is insane.
Even 20 pluses too.
And as a young kid, you were probably like, "Holy cow!"
I hooked one. I hooked the 20 plus when I was about 19. I lost it at the boat trying to grab it. I never carried nets with me. I caught 10 pounders all the time, but I didn't think it was anything unusual. But I did have a really big giant one come off one time. It was devastating. Fought to the boat, jumped 3 or 4 times. Didn't really jump, it wallowed. It was big fat. It was over 20 pounds. I'm pretty sure. I had my hands on it a couple times.
It haunted you then.
It still haunts me to this day because I know it was like 21 or 22 pounds. It was a giant.
Wow.
It was like 20 inches tall. And it was huge, huge fish.
Hey, so growing up in California, there was a lot of different techniques that kind of developed in a lot of those lakes, and one of them that sticks in my mind is that it was like a weird original version of like a shaky head. It was like a jig worm with a couple hooks on it.
Oh, the GS trout?
Yeah, no, like a shaky head. It wasn't like a swim bait.
That was one John Murray liked a lot. The Westy worm.
Westy worms. That's what.
I never threw it. I couldn't stand it. It had little tiny hooks on it, and it snagged everything.
It looks ridiculous. It's like a saltwater jack bait or something.
It caught him. He caught a lot of fish on it. And he still does this to this day. I think he keeps in his boat. I bet he's got him in his boat right now.
The Westy worm.
The Westy worm. Two little tiny gold hooks and a hook in the middle and a hook in the tail.
What's another a California technique that you cut your teeth on as a kid?
The swim baits were real big back then. We threw a lot of the big baits. Back when I first started throwing swim baits was like in the late 80s, like 89, 90. I used to ocean fish a lot, so a lot of us used to take the big worm kings. Back then it was a worm king. It was a big, goofy looking, 10-inch rubber, I don't know, it looked like a fish. It was just really ugly. It had 3 pores. But it was never a pretty bait, but they made trout colors in them after a while. But we used to throw those a lot in like anything from a half ounce, like a 1 ounce saltwater head on like 20 pound. And you catch them really good on that. Just a big ugly swim bait back then. Nothing like they are now. They're real stupid looking, but the fish ate them. Actually, just about the same as the new ones.
What did you almost catch that 20 plus on?
It was on a Tora tube, a bait that was kind of secret for they're the big giant tube baits.
Yeah,
we used to throw those in the late 80s and 90s for the bass. I was among the first guys that threw them, and we used to it was called a penny head, and it was like a saltwater kind of technique, but it worked really well for bass. And you'd rip it, bounce up off the bottom. If you saw a fish bust a trout, it was really good for ripping. It was a big giant tube. And again, you throw like 20 pound on a jig rod, and I've caught tons of fish on that. And I've also been beat. That Bill Simmental he mastered that bait, and on certain bites I would go for, casitas you catch or a Castaic even, and you go out there and catch, 20, 25 pounds, but he'd come in with like 30, 35.
Wow.
But he'd only get 4 or 5 bite keepers. He wouldn't have a limit a lot of times and weigh, a 10, 11 pound average. It was crazy. I'd been on second place behind him, and I'd be catching him on a jig and a crankbait and, drop shot. A lot of times we'd do like dart heads back then. And I would catch him really good and catch a ton of fish, 30, 40 fish, but he'd come in with like 4 and beat you. He'd have like a 13, a 12, a couple 10s. It was just crazy. He did it all the time.
Just little knotheads. Just little Charlie Moore size fish.
He would, yeah. I've been beat by like 2 fish in those tournaments too. The guys would weigh 2 giants. And go all day and get 2 or 3 bites and catch 2 for 20-something pounds. It's crazy.
When you go back to California, do you ever do a little bit of those smaller lake fishing like that? Is that something on your
I
list?
wish. Castaic, the stripers got in it and ruined it. It was a phenomenal fishery, probably the best one I've ever been to this today. For sure, is the best one I've ever been to, as far as just the quality of fish. But stripers got in that one, ruined it through the aqueduct. Casitas is still pretty good, but they stopped stocking trout in there because of the quagga mussel scare, zebras. So they won't let pretty much anything go into that lake that's foreign. So they stopped stocking trout there. But I heard they were starting to stock them again. That lake was really good. I think that still might hold the 5-fish record for the 65 pounds. I was in that tournament. I think I weighed 30. I think I had 35 in that tournament. I was in 7th place. And that was a 5-fish limit.
Wow.
They had 60. Was it 5 fish? 5 fish, 65 pounds.
You need to get back there. What are you doing?
It's not like that anymore. They used to stock trout about every week or two, a bunch of them, and the fish they're giant. It was pretty phenomenal. It's not. I mean, now it takes 20, 25 pounds even in the summertime, and they get occasional 35-pound bags, but those 40, 50-pound bags, 60-pound bags aren't. That hasn't happened in years since I started fishing pro, probably.
Wow.
Some of the San Diego lakes are still really good. The private lakes down there where they stock trout, where a lot of those big, you see those pictures of the big giant, those lakes are still good, but you can't get into them. I'm sure if I tried, I probably could, but I just never have time.
Just buy one with all that bass money you got.
I know people that could probably get me on them, but I've been so busy, it's hard to do that fun stuff anymore.
Well, speaking of fun stuff, let's play a game. You want to play a game?
I like games.
All right, good. Good. We're glad that you do. All right, now we're gonna play. We play a little game here on the Bass Buzz. It's called Bassin Roulette. Okay, and there's 6 chambers, right? And one of them's a loaded chamber. One is a loaded question. Okay, so I'm gonna throw something at you, and you just hit me with a quick answer. Okay.
I'll try.
Are you ready? You got your thinking cap on, right?
Yeah, I got my hat where it is. So I'll do that and fade it out.
Okay. Bagley baits.
Balsa baits, crankbaits, I guess.
Okay, what do they mean to you?
I like Bagley's. I actually won an Elite Series tournament on one, or the one up in Illinois.
Illinois, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a balsa bait. Yeah, it's a good one of the best balsa baits ever.
There it is right there. Coosa River Spot.
Big spotted bass.
What do you think about them?
I just love them. I don't know. They're kind of tough right now, but they're my favorite. That's why I moved here to Birmingham.
Because of the Coosas.
Because of the Coosas.
They're mean, dude.
They're mean and big.
They're like Tommy Biffle of bass.
They don't take no stuff.
Urban Cougar.
Whoa, that's a loaded question there. I don't know. I've been chased by one.
Don't she look nice?
Okay, snakehead.
A yummy fish that actually tastes really good, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, I ate one.
That worked out for you?
I ate part of it because it was out of Washington, the DC, so I didn't want to eat too much of it, but I just wanted to taste it. It's pretty good.
And you ate it like sushi right on your boat?
No, not of that plate.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Cooked it.
Full moon.
Topwater bite?
Okay, I like it. Now here's the loaded one. 2nd place.
Aaron Martens?
Aaron Martens, you are awesome. You are awesome, no doubt about it. Hey, we're right here against the break. Hold on, dude. You want to come back and have some more fun?
I'll be here.
Excellent. Hey,
Cool.
Keep it locked right here.
I'm going to go for a run real quick.
Yeah, hold on. We'll go together. Hold on. Aaron Martens coming back right here on the B.A.S.S segment of Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. Keep it locked. PH Custom Lures by Phil Hunter quickly becoming the most sought-after custom balsa baits in the industry, from the Little Hunter to the Squeaky P. These baits are pure quality, handcrafted, hand-carved, and hand-painted. But most importantly, they flat-out catch fish. PH Custom Lures has a bait for any situation in a magnitude of colors. Check out the Old School, Straighter, and PH Custom series at phcustomlures.com. That's phcustomlures.com.
That cat would kill a dog.
Welcome back. Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm Pat Renwick. If you're just tuning in, we got Aaron Martens on the Skype machine, and also want to let you know, wishing Gerald Swindle a speedy recovery. He won't be in tonight, having some trouble with that knee surgery, so Gerald will reschedule. But right now, you got your buddy, man, the American boy, Aaron Martens, back here, right here. Yay, Mart.
Hey.
Our studio audience loves you. Do you hear them going crazy?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're going absolutely nuts. They're going absolutely nuts. Now, I want to ask you about a few more things, and then we'll get back into more ridiculousness. Okay?
Cool.
Okay. Tell me about a red-winged blackbird pattern.
I know people laughed at me about that one, but it was
Dude.
It was pretty serious. Yeah, I mean, I caught a lot of fish in California, especially in the reeds. A lot of the San Diego lakes. I fished a lot, like team tournaments down there, and it wasn't uncommon to have a full-grown blackbird in your live well, and you go to cull a fish. You look in there, there's a bird floating. So I've always known that as a young age that they eat just about anything that fits in their mouth, the bass is going to eat. Blackbird's definitely not off the menu. Havasu is this. I clean my live wells out every day, especially when you catch a lot of big fish. Like I was catching a lot of good sized fish, and they scales, and they regurgitate, and they actually poop too. And you get a lot of stuff in your live wells. So I have a little aquarium net, and I always scoop it out. And that morning before that, was it third day or the last day? Third day, I guess it was. I had scooped out a bunch of there's a bunch of stuff floating in the live well, and it's kind of like. At first, I was like, what is that? And then I looked at them, and they're little feathers, like little baby blackbird feathers. So I scooped them all out. Those would definitely jam your live well up. But it kind of gave me I kind of already knew that because, like, fishing those reeds, there's nests everywhere, and you'd see babies in them. You'd see babies kind of flapping their wings, or you'd go by there'd be like a nest of coots, and there'd be like, 4 or 5 babies in them, and they'd be like kind of walking on the edge of the nest. And you just know the bass when a bass comes by and sees that, he's going to try to get one, or I'm sure they get them all the time. You actually hear them get them quite a bit. So it gave me the extra boost to flip in there like I was, because, I mean, you don't get very many bites, but the bites you get are going to be big, and that's what they were. So I didn't really, it's funny because I had a couple stretches. It wasn't like that all over the place. There was just certain areas where the birds were at, and I knew they were in there, but I actually waited and I watched those stretches, and nobody fished them like I was going to. And I got lucky because there's a lot of guys that fished around me. Edwin Evers is one of the guys that me and him were bumping heads the whole tournament. But I watched him, and he was fishing. He wasn't really flipping back in this stuff real heavy, so I kind of knew that stuff was safe. I was watching anytime a guy would pull up and fish, where I was kind of at, I'd watch him, and they wouldn't go back in there. I was like kind of nervous at first, but you'd see him flip normal. I was like, good.
Yeah.
You're not getting it.
Nice.
I knew from experience that's probably my favorite tournament lake that I've ever been to is Havasu. That's one of my favorite places to compete on. I've won a lot of tournaments there, and to me, it's just a really fun lake.
And dude, that was awesome when that happened.
It was, and they were way back into stuff. And like I said, you wouldn't get a lot of bites, but if you did, it'd be like a 4-pound plus fish.
And I mean, and that show, like, I want to tell you a little story why I asked you about the red-winged blackbird, because my grandpa Paul is the one that got me into fishing. And he would always say to me, he'd say, Pat, if you ever see a red-winged blackbird, there's a bass around there. So if you're going down the bank and you see a red-winged blackbird, there's a bass around there. And and it's come to fruition so many times where I don't know if it's a mental thing or just confidence, but I'd throw around those red-winged blackbirds, dude, and catch a fish.
Yeah, but
especially
then
in
they
the reeds
dive
and
bomb.
especially when they're nesting, yeah.
They
I don't know if
dive
it'll
bomb
be
your
as
head,
good as
though.
it used to be, but now it kind of blew it out of proportion. But yeah, it's always been like Clear Lake and stuff, and the birds in March, April, and the birds getting those reeds, man. Time to flip.
Flip it up.
Aaron,
Hey,
did those things attack you at all while you were getting back in the nest? Because those things can be vicious.
they chirped a lot, and I was careful not to try to hit any of their nests. But they weren't that thick. There would be like a nest in some areas, it seemed like every 10, 15 feet, it seemed like there'd be a nest. And there was coot nests mixed in. There was coots, or the black little mud birds. And they were nesting right on the water. Most of the blackbirds were up off the water a little bit, like in a tangle, and you kind of know where they were at, and you couldn't flip it anyways, but you'd flip around them.
And the bass were just waiting, like if a seal falls off.
Yeah,
a rock.
I wasn't replicating the blackbird, but I didn't need to. I was using like a green pumpkin punch skirt with a green pumpkin menace and a speed crawl, just kind of crawdad looking or perch looking. I didn't really have to be black. It was just that those fish were there, and if you got the right bait in front of them, they'd eat it anyway, any color it was. But it was just getting the right presentation, the right fall, and it's hard to get a bait to sink in that stuff. It's so thick. So that's why I used the 30-pound braid, which I kind of think showed a lot of guys how strong 30-pound braid really is. You can't really break it. If you do everything right, it's not going to break. But I use a lot of light braid too.
Ain't gonna happen. Hey, you seem like a really laid back dude.
I'm laid back right now. This is nice.
Yeah, I mean, we're enjoying chilling with you too. I mean, believe me. Now,
I'm on the couch. This is where I watch TV about twice a year.
Do you ever get mean, Aaron Martens? Do you ever get down and mean, like if somebody's on your spot, dude, or like somebody's being a real jagbag on
I
the
get
water?
mad. I've had some run-ins with guys and a few times, not often. It's usually when like a guy will come in on you and maybe you think he doesn't know about him, or you're catching him for a couple days, and somebody, that once in a while it happens, but not often. Most elite guys. Most of the guys are really cool. I get more mad at myself a lot of times.
Now,
I don't do what I think I should have done. Like at MLF, I found a bunch of schools that guys were on, but I didn't want to move in on them or go fish it with them. And I kept passing up my waypoints, and by the time I was, into the second day, I had passed by all my waypoints, and like half of them had boats on them. I just kind of stayed off and looked for more stuff, and that was a big mistake. And I was mad at myself for not going in there and kind of joining the crowd.
Hey, speaking of getting mad, now our producer Andrew Ellenberg, the Ginger Ninja, who you were texting with a little earlier before the show, he loves him some Aaron Martens. It's Man Crush Monday every day for the Ginger Ninja. And he said something to me the other day when we were fishing, when he found out you were coming on the show, and he said, dude, I would love to fish with him just to watch him think. Now, the thing about you that I notice is that you think out loud a lot of times.
Yeah, I get in trouble for it sometimes, yeah. I say what's on my mind.
You do, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like, now, so we're watching this as you're on camera. Especially we see it on Major League Fishing. We hear you talking.
Comes out there for sure.
Yeah, you're talking to you a lot on Major League Fishing. Do you do that even when you're alone in the boat?
No, it's more like I don't talk. It's just when I'm on camera, I talk. It's almost like I'm trying to talk to people with. I feel like if I'm quiet, I almost want people to know. I feel like I don't know. I don't do that when in a normal situation. There's no cameras. I don't talk that much. But when the cameras are on, I tend to talk a lot.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah. And I have the opposite problem. I talk to myself all the time. I never shut up.
I do in my head, but I'm usually pretty quiet. Like when I'm out there by myself, I think quiet. I talk to animals and stuff, and I get kind of bored after a while. And I've been, taught to cats before and dogs.
I saw that.
Yeah, birds sometimes.
This is JP Kitty. He's our little stray cat right here. That's it. Hey,
I got a cat right here too. I got a new cat, but he's chilling out next to me over here.
Nice. Hey,
what's
your cat's name?
Let's get him in there.
Speaking of you,
bring him over, dude.
Yeah, get him on over.
It's our new cat. He's great. My son's cat. He's cool. He's right there grabbing.
We got a treat. We got a treat for him.
He got me yesterday. He got me last night. He's grumpy. I was playing with him. He about tore my hand off. He's about the most vicious kitten I've ever seen. He's really cool, actually. He's a really nice cat, but
maybe it's a cougar kitten.
He's he's a blue Russian. There he is.
Oh, look at that!
Look
at that! There he is. That's an awesome. It looks like one of those Egyptian cats, man.
Oh, he's. I can't say the words about him. He's like the mean. He's gonna be a pretty big cat. He's real long legs, real long. He's got a long face, but he's a bad cat. He's like the baddest cat I've ever seen. Actually, I think he's about 3 months old. But he's vicious. Actually, he's really nice.
Awesome. Hey, going back to the idea of how you're thinking. Okay, Major League Fishing compared to the Elite Series.
Whoa.
How do you feel about knowing what your other competitors are doing?
I like the fact that you can hear the other guy. I mean, I like it because it kind of lets you know if they're you need to be kicking yourself in the butt to move on. And I like to know. It kind of changes your way you. I'm still getting used to it, but I'm getting a little better at it. But it's hard. It's very as a fisherman in it competing. it's pretty. It's a level up. It's intense. It's very intense. I mean, it's like the feelings you get in the chest. I mean, everybody goes through it too. You know, I fished by a lot of guys who were within sight or almost talking distance of each other, and it's pretty hardcore, I'd say. Definitely.
And we see it. It's evident.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It
it's
comes
evident between all you guys there. What if that happened on the Elite Series? What if they threw that into? I know it's a different format, but what if they threw in that you knew what was going on with the other guys? And still a 5 fish limit. You know.
I don't know. There might be some guys that might look for those guys. The thing about MLF is we all look the same, and you don't know who you're fishing next to unless you're within talking distance of the guy. And that's the honest truth. We don't know who each other's are unless you pay attention to what boat they're in. But a lot of the boats look the same, and I don't pay attention to what they're in. I won't know who it is until I'm like within where I can actually see the guy's face. So a lot of times I don't know who I'm fishing next to, or who's ahead of me. And so if that guy's catching them, unless I see him catching fish and it's coming in on a score track, I don't know who it is.
Well, didn't they do it in the Classic last year? Didn't they make it so
They
you
usually
could
do
check?
it. They used to do it like they did it
Jason
for a
Christie
while
was
every
there.
day, and then the fishermen said that wasn't cool. They voted on to change it. Now it's like the last day.
Oh, okay. Just the final day.
But and some of them we can check the last day, but no, it was like every day for a while, and the guys didn't like that. But I mean, guys find out where you're fishing it. They might get a few extra anglers in there that might know that you know where you're at and might come in. I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to encroach on you, and then
Yeah.
and then they're going to turn into your mean cat.
They'll make you mad.
Yeah, make you mad. Hey, you're sitting there all comfy on your couch.
Oh yeah.
You're all relaxed, man. And now I would like you to tell us a story, A-Mart, okay?
I'm not good. I can try.
Okay, now I'm going to create a scenario for you here, okay? I'm going to give you some players. And now you have to be, I know that you have to think on the spot on the water, and you have to be creative on the water. I'm going to see if you can be creative from your couch, okay?
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, you need to tell us a story, whether it's a scary story, a happy story, a sad story, whatever it might be. Now, here's the players involved in this story. Are you ready? First off, we have a Victoria's Secret model. Okay? We have Greg Hackney with a chainsaw. We have Zona on a unicorn. Mark Zona on a unicorn. Okay? And we have the Mexican werewolf, El Chupacabra. Okay, and we have you, Aaron Martens.
Oh man, you had to pick a tough one like that.
Yeah, we have you. All you are the players in the store. So can you tell us a little story using those people? Do you need me to repeat it?
Yeah, I see. Zona is on one of those horses with a, what do they call those?
A unicorn horn.
And
Hackney's got a
with
chainsaw.
Supermodel, Victoria's Secret supermodel.
Yeah.
And Hackney was walking around with a chainsaw.
He's got a chainsaw. He
How
does.
come Aaron Martens doesn't get a weapon?
Well, Aaron Martens is a warrior. He's like an American badass outlaw type guy.
Right on.
You know, that's what Aaron Martens is. And then there's that Mexican werewolf El Chupacabra. So
I could be like one of those Avengers or something.
Yeah.
Captain America or something.
That's you,
It's your
dude.
story. You can be whatever you want.
You're telling us. Tell us a story.
Oh man, once upon a time. It sounds like Hackney needs to be out in the woods somewhere cutting some trees down.
Okay, keep going. I'm intrigued.
And Zona was riding a unicorn
Typical.
through Hackney's woods as Hackney was cutting wood for the winter, I guess.
He cuts wood, yes.
And then the Victoria's Secret model was watching Hackney
Ooh.
in her underwear.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
And then it made Hackney want to cut some more wood because
It gave him wood.
It gave him wood, so
Yeah.
he wanted to cut more wood so he could be warm next to the fire,
Yes.
and that made him happy, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Zona rode through it, but kept on riding because he didn't want to get in trouble.
Yes, that's true. Because Karen would
Yeah.
kick his ass.
And Aaron made sure nobody did anything wrong.
That's you.
Being the good Christian I am, and
There you are.
if they started to do something wrong, I came in and told them not to do that.
So where's that werewolf come in?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's the wild card. That's the wild card,
The
sir.
werewolf, he was. You don't see werewolves. They just come up and kill you if they're real.
Dude,
I mean, they're in the dark and
out
they
of the
always
blue.
surprise you, and the guy's like shredded in seconds. So the werewolf was. Well, that has to be continued at another times. The werewolf I don't see a place for him.
That's
right
in
now.
the sequel. That's in the sequel, right?
In the sequel.
That was totally ridiculous. Thank
That's
you
next
so
time.
much. That was the ridiculousness I was looking for.
I'm not good at storytelling. I've never been good at faking stuff.
Dude, you
I'm
nailed
bad.
it. I don't know what you're talking about. That was creative genius right there.
I didn't seem like it.
It was creative genius. Hey, we're having so much fun
I'm
with
terrible
you.
at stories, man. I try to tell stories to my kids, and it would be hard for me. I had to tell them like true stories. I could do that.
You got to tell them about the
tell
once
your
upon
kids-
a time
I
daddy
have a
had a
hard time
20
making
pounder.
stories up for some
Just
reason.
remember that one. You can tell your kids that one.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
That's a good one. Hey, dude, we're having so much fun with you, and Swindle's not feeling well. You wanna hang out just a little bit more?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yes, Aaron Martens gonna hang out for another segment on the Bass Buzz Straightcast Outdoor Cartoon Television. Keep it locked. More Aaron Martens when we get back. Thanks, Aaron.
How did you change your body? I mean, like just really working out? Mm-hmm. Could you
I
take...
did martial arts a lot and full contact karate and weights.
Could anybody do that? Could you take these two here?
Come on, say what you really think, huh?
Could you change anybody's body with enough time? Seriously.
Sure, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It just takes determination, hard work, and good instructor.
At Sleaze's Bait Shop, Rich, the true Sleazak, tells it like it is, honest with fishermen about the local fishing reports, weather conditions, and advice. He is a true region fisherman who has what you need to get from the shop to the water. Rich is always on site, and Sleaze's Bait Shop is always open. Just ring the buzzer by the door, and Rich will fill your minnow bucket and not be stingy about it. Sleaze's also has a full selection of terminal fishing tackle. Look for Sleaze's Bait and Tackle on Facebook. Sleaze's Bait and Tackle has been family owned and operated for over 29 years and is located at 2245 Randolph Street, right off 8094 at the Ripley South exit and minutes away from the big lake. Where do you go for all the hard-to-find Japanese domestic tackle? Lee's Global Tackle, the connection for all the hottest baits and lures straight from Japan. Lee's Global Tackle has two locations, the main store in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, and our other store in Carroll Stream, Illinois. Stop in at Lee's Global Tackle and meet John Moy. He'll show you some of the coolest baits not available anywhere else. Catering secret tournament winning baits to the fishing community for over 17 years, Lee's Global Tackle.
Raise them yourself together. Grab that funky soul. Get up, get yourself together, and grab your funky soul. They're doing it down in that soul.
You got your funky soul. Get up, Aaron Martens. How? And grab your funky soul. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude. You like you little godfather of soul?
I can't believe you don't listen to music when you run.
Dude, I don't, man. We had this discussion, man.
I know.
I'm a mystic man, just like you. I meditate at that time. I know you like to jam out when you run.
Yeah.
What do you listen to when you run?
Most of the time I jam out.
You're jamming it out. Ryan, what'd you say to him?
I said, what are you listening to when you're running? Aaron Martens?
I got so much, I listen to anything from rock to like electronic to chill to alternative. I mean, I got Zeppelin and Korn and all the way to like the modern stuff.
You ever listen to Rick Clunn Indian music when you run?
No, not that chill.
No, none of that going on. None of that happening right there.
Mostly upbeat stuff and something that gets the tempo going.
Hey, we gotta get some like technical, real fishing questions in since you know.
Oh yeah,
I mean, we gotta keep some people happy. I would, like I said before, we had Seth Feider on before you, and he. By the way, Seth Feider told us how much it meant to him for you to come up to him after the Derby and tell him what a good job he did, because you're
I
his.
haven't had a chance to meet him yet. I mean, you think that we all know each other and we all get to meet and hang out, but it's too busy, man. During the season, it's like, man, we're all so strapped for time.
You know, we asked if he wanted to tell you anything, and he said, "Nope."
Nope, he didn't want nothing to do with you. Hey, what is the most underrated lure found in a typical bass fisherman's tackle box these days? Something that they don't throw that they probably should throw, Aaron.
Spinnerbait. I didn't say that.
Spinnerbait. I mean, we saw you.
I don't believe it.
We saw you in a derby. I think it's the same year as the Havasu.
Chesapeake. I threw a spinnerbait a lot last year. This year a little bit, but that's one of my favorite baits. Like I have a bunch of favorites, but That's one of the ones I think it's underutilized for sure.
It's almost
what
forgotten.
spinnerbait? What spinnerbait are you
Oh,
throwing?
it varies, man. Anything from a beetle spin to ounce and a half ledge busters.
Beetle spin? You're throwing a beetle spin for real?
I throw a lot of small stuff in the wintertime. We don't have any tournaments, but you can go out there with like a little 1/4 ounce or 1/8 ounce with little blades on it and destroy them.
Is that like with
It's amazing what
underspin
fish will
with
eat
the
when they're on
fluke
small
it?
bait like that. But yeah, little tiny spinner baits to big giant ones. Single bladed to double bladed most of the time. I mean, I got a pretty big collection. I carry a couple hundred with me, probably on tour. But I keep a lot of them just wires, and I blade them up as I go throughout the season.
You're assembling for the situation.
Yeah, because I mean, it's too hard to keep one. I mean, there's so many different. A spinnerbait's so versatile. There's so many things you can do with it, and anything from like I said, a single blade to a double blade, but equal blades, or a small blade and a big blade, or white and chartreuse, or gold and silver. There's just so much. It's crazy how much you can do.
Why have people gotten away from the spinnerbait? I
don't know.
throw one. I
I've
got one
always
tied
thrown
on
it.
all the time, dude.
Killer bait. I've won a lot of tournaments on a spinnerbait, especially in the West. It always works. It's always going to. It's never gonna stop working. That's for sure.
It'll never change. It'll never change.
There's certain lakes that we go to where it doesn't work that good. I mean, you can catch a fish on it, but there's a lot of places that we go different times of year where I just never seem to catch them on a spinnerbait, and that might be what the case is for a lot of people. They get burned out on it. I don't know, but there's a lot of places where we go where they really eat it. That's why I caught a lot of my fish on the first time. My lax is like 1.25 ounce, single blade spinnerbait. I caught like 20 pounds in the first 40 minutes, but most of them are on that big spinnerbait.
What happened to you there, by the way?
I wore those fish out. They moved. And I went to go to a bunch of other waypoints, and there's dudes on every single one of them. Everyone I found, that pretty much everybody found something. We all found the same stuff.
Back to that spinnerbait thing, real quick.
Yep.
I don't want to get away from that just yet. Do you throw that thing when it's flat calm, no wind, in the middle of the day? Will you ever do that?
Not usually. That's not
With no
usually the
current?
case for a spinnerbait. A lot of times you need a little bit of wind chop, unless it's current related.
Or dirty,
That's
right?
big
What
current.
about dirt?
Dirty water, you can catch them. In the spring or in the winter when it's cold, to get some dirty water, it'll work then. But like most of the year, I tend to wait till there's a little ripple on the surface.
Okay.
Like a bladed jig bait or the spinner bait, even a trap. You can still catch them in calm water, but they definitely eat it better when you get a little ripple going.
Right.
Unless it's wintertime and it's cold and you're doing it. I did that last year. I got third at that one in Texas, the one down in Orange. What was that tournament? That's the one. Oh, Sabine.
Oh, there you go. That
It
river.
wasn't really windy there a couple of days, and I was smashing them on spinnerbait. It was spring, and the water kind of had a stain to it, and I was throwing like a double Indiana, a double Colorado. I had 3 spinnerbaits out. That's what I was catching most of my fish on. And yeah, it wasn't real windy most of the time I was throwing it. They were eating it.
Hey, tell me this now, and don't answer. It's whatever the bass want. Don't give that answer, okay? But
All right.
how do you determine if you're going to throw a spinnerbait, a swim jig, or a chatterbait type bait? What's the thought process there?
If everything's going right, you get gut feelings. Because I fish so much. A lot of times those 3 baits, they'll eat them all at the same time. But I'll usually have all those rigged up anyways, and a lot of times, believe it or not, it's trial and error. Still trial and error. A lot of times I'll pick I'll throw a spinnerbait and maybe get a couple bumps on it, and it may seem like a little bit too much, and I'll go to the swim jig and they'll start eating it. That's just kind of how it is. Those are normally baits I always have on the deck of my boat in like shallower tournaments, and even nowadays we have big heavy ones, so those baits work in deep water too. You can get down 20 feet with them plus.
Sure.
But a lot of times it is trial and error, and if things are going right, usually I might throw a spinnerbait once and put it down the rest of the day, and just throw it once and be like, that's not right, and just throw a swim jig or a bladed jig the rest of the time. But I'll throughout the day, depending on what the conditions are like, water conditions are like, wind, I'll keep 20 to 25 rods rigged up with normally different things. And I might have 3 spinner baits, 2 or 3 bladed jigs, if I'm at a certain tournament, but I'll have one for cloudy conditions, and if it gets kind of brighter than it's supposed to, because we can't depend on weather people, a lot of times I'll have a natural colored one. That makes a big difference. Or I'll have them rigged up, ready to go. I always have backups for everything, and I keep everything. I keep a lot of stuff rigged up.
Prep. That's the prep.
Yep, I do a lot of prep.
Yep.
A little too much, I think, but it pays off sometimes.
Hey, I don't want to get too far into finesse fishing, but I just want to know one thing. What's the number one drop shot hook? What hook are you using for drop shotting most of the time?
I know
If you
the
can tell us.
Gamakatsu G Finesse is as good as any of them, or better. That new one they have, it's got that gray finish, kind of like almost like a Teflon coat. It's not Teflon, they say, but it's kind of like it. It's real slick.
Gamakatsu
But
G
that hook
Finesse.
that's always been a really good hook. But I used to always bend it out, and now I had to make it. It was already kind of opened up. I didn't like the pointing towards the eye as much. I kind of wanted it parallel with the shank. That way it grabs quicker. Because I experimented. I bent hooks all my life. I'd bent hooks, flipping hooks and finesse hooks, open them up a little bit. If you had a jig or something, like a jig hook, and you're kind of missing them a little bit, like they weren't eating it real good. A lot of times you could open up, or even on a spinnerbait, you could open it up and have it pointing out a little bit, and it tends to stick them quicker and deeper in the mouth. So I've always bent hooks and played like that, and that Gamakatsu G Finesse is really really good hook. Strong, it's nice.
Awesome.
The new steel. That's that new. I think other companies are going to too, but the steel they use now and the real high end hooks is smaller, and it's like 20% stronger than the old good steel. That old good hooks we used to use, it's like 20% stronger than that. They're the same diameter, but they don't flex, and that's really important in the hook. You don't want it to flex at all when you set the hook on a fish or you hit a fish in a hard spot. You want that fish to stay rigid,
like a samurai sword.
Yep.
And like those new treble hooks that you have too.
Yeah, they're really good.
Nice. Love them.
They're incredible. I don't think a lot of people know how good they really are, but they're super awesome.
Hey, JP Kitty and Bobby got some questions for you right here. What's up, Bob?
Since we're still on the topic of drop shotting, do you use braid or fluorocarbon?
I still keep a fluoro rod in the boat, but about 90% of my drop shotting is with like 10-pound braid most of the time, with like a 7 to 10-pound leader.
Do you use a swivel at all?
I do at the Great Lakes sometimes when you're reeling it up a lot, and no matter how you rig your worm, even wacky rig, a lot of times you can get twist in it. So I sometimes use a little small like barrel swivel, and I'll put like a small plastic bead above it, because a lot of times when you have a leader, you reel it up, tend to get excited and reel it up too fast, you can damage your guide. So I just put a little plastic bead on there to keep it from damaging the guides. But I occasionally use a small, like a little barrel swivel with like a braid to like whatever fluorocarbon I'm using, and I'll actually pre-tie a bunch of leaders. That tournament I sheared the bolts off. I had them so figured out. I had the fish to win.
At St. Clair, right?
Yeah, I had that tournament won. I had the fish in the boat, but I had them figured out so good. I had the swivel on there, and I had a bunch of leaders. I pre-tied like 10 or 12 leaders for the day, because I didn't want to tie that extra knot up above. I wanted a full rig ready to go with just all I had to do is stick a weight on it. So I'd tie a hook on and put the knot for the weight on there, because I was in a hurry. I didn't have much time to fish down there, and so all I had to do once it got frayed, and once I retied once and it got too short, I had it wrapped around one of those it was like floaties, the long floaties. I kept one of them in the boat. I cut it in half and kept them wrapped around that. So I just unhook it and pull the leader off as ready to go. I pre-sharpened the hooks. I always put an extra point on even the super sharp hooks. I still like to touch them up a little bit, and it was real quick. I mean, I probably saved, maybe 5-10 minutes as I used quagga mussels. I had a lot of them rigged up, but I'd go through 6 or 8 of them a day, but it saved me some minutes, which is, I think I only had 4 hours of fishing that tournament. It was like 80 miles each way. It was rough all the way there and back.
And
it was bad.
How do you
So
know?
I had to save every minute counted. Even if it's just a minute or two, it's worth taking the extra time to do it.
How do you know when to nose rig hooks or wacky rig your baits?
The nose rigs are fastest. Like as far as it's even faster than a Texas rig. You have less drag.
So deeper water.
It's quicker, and it has a slinkier movement to like a wacky rig. And I came up with like my friend Scott Gilly called it the Gilly rig, which is like in between a wacky rig and a nose hook. It's kind of up towards the top of the worm, and that works really good because it kind of makes the worm kind of shake as it falls. It kind of chutters as it goes down because of how it's rigged. And so is the wacky rig. The nose rig it moves a little bit, but it kind of goes straight down. Again, it's probably trial and error. I tend to like the wacky rig or ghillie rig better. It has more movement, and you tend to hook them a little better. You get more of the bites you get bit by as the hook's in the middle.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaron.
All right. Now
The Texas rig's really good too.
Now the tough questions. I guess.
Tough questions
Are
from
you
the kitty.
Are you ready for the tough questions?
Oh yeah.
All right, one more finesse question. Have you ever thrown a Ned rig?
The Ned rig is a dart head with a Senko.
Yeah, I taught you about that the other day. Remember?
Yeah.
You didn't even know.
I kind of not really that much, no, but I could see it being very deadly at times. They would ate it at Mille-Lacs really good, for sure.
That's the only thing I catch.
I thought
fish
about
on.
it a few times, but I wasn't around the fish to catch anyway. I was fishing for dinks.
All right,
here's around where I was at.
Here's a tougher one. I think I know the answer already. Did you go for a run today?
I didn't run today. I got up at like 4:50, and my friend was a little late, which I expected. I made an extra big egg, like 3-egg sandwich on sourdough with like avocado and cheese and a little bit of mayonnaise.
Yeah,
and cayenne,
buddy.
of course. Big old sandwich. I picked out on that. I had a chance to drink some coffee. Now I got too early. I couldn't get up at like 4 to go run. Last night I ran on my street, which is all hills. I ran like 4 miles, but I'm not like Pat yet. I was only getting 9 to 12 miles a weekend this year, so I'm behind. I think this week I got 20 in, and I'll work up to like 40 probably in about 2
Yeah,
3
buddy.
weeks.
That's the goal.
I like 40, but 30 is awesome. If you can do 30, that's incredible. Me and my wife run, and 20 does a lot. 20 is really good, but you'll maintain what you're at. But as you get to 30 and 40, it's another level.
We become machines, Aaron.
Exactly.
We become beasts.
You're pretty stout. Yeah, you don't get tired. It's amazing how you feel.
Since you were talking about breakfast and going into food,
Yeah, I love breakfast. I love eating, actually.
I heard you say, I don't remember what it was, but you talk a lot when the camera's on, and you were eating lunch. It was a peanut butter sandwich with cayenne pepper.
Yeah, loaded up. I mean, a measurable layer if you take a ruler up to it. Yeah, I like them hot. I eat a lot of cayenne. I eat like a jar a month.
Can you
like
give us the whole recipe for that?
A normal sized jar a month. I down one of those a month.
So it's just cayenne pepper and peanut butter.
About 10 to 11 jars a year I eat of cayenne pepper.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Why?
love it.
I mean,
my wife always complains. She's like, "You're not gonna taste it first," but
That's how Leslie sounds, like that?
No, she sounds a lot hotter than that.
Okay.
But I always try to tell her like hot stuff everywhere I go is not hot. I can't even taste if it's hot, and it doesn't burn my taste buds are still really good. I don't know what people think it burns your taste buds, but I can taste food just fine. I can load it up with like a 1/4 inch of cayenne. I can still taste it.
A 1/4 inch of cayenne?
No, I'm just exaggerating. Like a layer. Sometimes I'll cover the food where you can't see what's underneath it.
I mean, I want the whole recipe of that sandwich. What?
Take a peanut butter and jelly, do the peanut butter and jelly, and then cover it so you can't tell what's on it. And then put the bread
cayenne
on.
pepper. All right.
It's hot.
I'm
It's
gonna
hot,
try
but
it.
The peanut butter.
I like
kinda,
hot stuff.
You know how peanut butter is kind of hot when you eat it, kind of warms your mouth. The peanut butter counteracts the cayenne. It doesn't seem as hot, but it's still really good for your circulatory system. All your blood. It's good for you. So I eat a lot of it.
No heartburn. No heartburn with
No
that?
heartburn.
Oh, nice.
That's Aaron's home recipe
I've had
right
people
there.
tell me keep doing it, you're gonna have heartburn when you get older. But I'm 44 now, so it hasn't happened yet. I've been doing it for a while.
Van Dam's got the cookies. You got the cayenne pepper.
My wife makes some good cookies too.
Yeah? Maybe
Maybe she
are they?
copied Van Dam. I don't know, but she makes awesome, cookies from scratch and
Cayenne cookies.
makes them a little different every time. It's pretty neat.
Nice.
She does cookies too.
All right, I got a couple like Bassin roulette questions. So
That's an original idea.
Just quick one answer ones. You can only pick one: crankbait or jerkbait.
Crankbait.
Yeah, absolutely.
Largemouth, smallmouth, or spots.
Oh, dang. That's like 30, 29. Shoot. Oh, golly. I hate to say largemouth.
Yeah, largemouth.
Yeah, they're
Smallmouth.
bigger and sometimes they're badder too. I love the other ones though.
White frog or black frog.
If I had to pick one. Oh, that's really tough.
Red wing blackbird.
Probably white frog.
White?
White frog.
White frog.
Cats,
I like a black one, but white always gets bit too.
cats or
Usually.
dogs?
Sometimes not as good as black though. What's that?
Cats or dogs?
I love them both. I can't have a dog. Right now it's I don't know. I kind of like dogs more, but I love my cats.
All right.
But if I had to pick one to keep me company, if I was alone in Alaska, I'd pick a dog. But cats are kind of nice too.
How about a wolf? What if you got a wolf? For a
Yeah, that's
pet?
what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah,
they're
seriously.
a little more friendly towards you. Like they're more compatible. Cats are kind of like whatever.
Or you should get a chupacabra as a pet.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean that would differentiate you from the rest of the competitors. on
There's a
that
lot of
tour.
animals like that'd be
You should
fun
get a
to have.
Greg Hackney as a pet.
Yes.
Get yourself a great with a chainsaw.
Hey, Aaron, thank you so much for sticking around and playing some more with us, man. You got any shout outs to your sponsors or are your fans? Any words
I
of
love
wisdom?
my sponsors. I'm very happy right now. I know a lot of people are probably looking for my hard bait sponsor. I don't have one right now. I haven't had one for 2 years. But all the sponsors I have, I can't thank them enough. Phoenix Boats and Enigma, they're both doing really well, and all my other sponsors, Mercury, I've been with forever. RoboWorm is my longest sponsor. I've had them since I was like 14. About 15 when I started fishing, RoboWorm sponsored me. It kind of gave me free baits back then, so they've been my longest sponsor.
So you
But all
start.
my sponsors are great.
He started as a 10%er. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Free baits.
Free baits.
That's how it usually starts.
Hey, we had a blast with you, man. We had a blast, Aaron.
It was fun.
Yeah, thanks so much, and thanks to Leslie too for making this happen too. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. I might go for a run right now, but there's quite a few copperheads in this neighborhood, and there's been quite a few dogs bitten in this area, and I've seen them. So I don't tend to run at night because my street's dark, and I probably step on one. But
Just bring the kitty. He'll
we gotta go
you.
run sometime, Pat, together.
We got to go, dude.
We got to.
Yeah,
Stay.
we need to cosmically bond, bro.
Yeah.
I think he starts
You got-
down south
got-
and you start from here and you guys meet halfway.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's
if I
a
get
run.
some time. Or you can do a Ragnar with us. I do a Ragnar every year or two.
Where's that at? What?
Doing the one in Napa Valley in California.
Oh,
My wife
gotcha.
has the fishtails, and she started it, and I helped start the fish heads. And it's a lot of the runners are actually related to bass. I think we have maybe a fisherman or two this year for the first time, but I've been the only elite angler to run it. But it's mostly fishermen and Bassmaster related people.
Yeah, dude, we'll get together and we'll do it.
And it's all the bass wives. Like Becky Iaconelli's running with Leslie, and I think she's got 4 or 5 of the wives running with her, like Angie Faircloth and Bobby Chapman and a few others. So she's got a lot of the bass wives running on her team, Fishtails.
Nice.
It's really fun. It's fun. So it's a good time.
We'll go do it and then we'll poach some of those California tanks when we're done.
I'll have to send you some pictures.
Yeah, dude, please do. Please
I
do.
will.
Aaron, again, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. We'd love to have you on again sometime.
I'd love to be on again. It's a great time.
Awesome. Tell all your buddies about this show. Tell the world.
I will. I want to say hi to everybody out there. Thanks for tuning in and watching. And we'll do it again soon, I hope.
Dude, you are a true champion. True champion, Aaron Martens.
I'll be back next year. This year I took a break. I just kind of chilled out a little bit. I got more sleep this year than I ever have in my career.
Get
7
mean,
hours.
dude. Get mean. Be
I was
that
getting healthy again.
superhero.
Last year was like 5 hours. This year was 7 hours. That's probably what it cost me. Average.
Get him. Peace, dude.
Yeah. Peace, guys.
Later. Aaron
Thanks, man.
Martens. Hey, Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television Bass Buzz segment. Well, we're gonna keep. We're going. What are you doing?
No commercial.
Oh, There's there. What are we doing?
We're at the Bassin Roundtable right now.
Well-
Welcome to the Bassin
You
Roundtable.
come sit right
Busted.
here.
Oh, are we gonna do another segment? A 5-minute segment. Okay, and we're gonna bring on BT, right?
Yeah, we just decided that.
Oh,
And there's
wow.
Brandon Troop.
See, I had no idea what was going on. That was awesome. But, dude, how great was Aaron Martens?
He was a champion.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. Aaron Martens was. Is your mic
Is
on,
Brandon's
Brandon?
mic on?
Check the button there for him, Bobo.
Yes, sir. Hello.
It's on.
Hey,
Brandon, what did you think of Aaron Martens?
What's up?
I thought Aaron Martens, he was
move that mic a little closer to you,
Eat that
BT.
microphone. Eat that thing.
Yeah.
a stand-up guy. Everything I thought he was, you know. I'd love to kick it with that guy one day and fish with him.
Yeah, and
I
he's
learned a lot.
And Hackney had wood.
Right.
That was the most. That was the most important thing that we learned.
He gave Hackney wood.
Yeah, in that interview right there.
I know if I was on the unicorn, I'd get off that thing and chase that Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah, Zona's wife would kill him. That's what happened there.
Unicorn's a little phallic, though. You know, it can be
We still need to
dangerous.
know what happened to the werewolf. though.
That was awesome stuff. Hey man, it's good to have you in the studio and kind of like a surprise mystery guest.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you watch Scooby Doo when you were a kid, and then all of a sudden like the mystery guest comes on and you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
It's like William Shatner.
Yeah, that's you, Brandon Trope.
Hey, this is a dope little show you guys got. I mean, I would love
Thanks.
to be a part of it every week if I could. You know, I was
Sure.
off today. So I
How
was-
much money you got?
How much you need?
Yeah, because because we are up for grabs. We're not and open for offers. You know, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We're philosophically trying.
Reasonably priced advertising.
Yes,
We're gonna talk about it.
Yes.
You know, if you're a local business in the Northwest Indiana or worldwide, hit us up.
Galaxy
Any
wide.
one of us.
If you're anywhere in the world, we will play your commercial.
Yeah, we'll take anything we can get.
We're
if you're
sluts.
looking for an ad to meet other people, we can arrange that for you
Yes.
as well.
Sure.
Yes, Christian Mingle.
Yes, we have a Bassing dating app.
Bass Mingle.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, is there a Bass Mingle yet?
Meow.
We need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. So are you done fishing for the year, BT? What's up? Talk into that microphone, or Bobby's gonna hit you.
I think I'm gonna do a tournament at Braidwood Saturday.
At the Wood.
English choice. It's just an open tournament. Let's see what I can do.
Ha-
Me and my buddy Craig Heff, and we'll see what happens.
How you been out to Braidwood at all
I
this year?
haven't been out to Braidwood. Last weekend I went to St. Clair in the Detroit River. And we
Yeah,
had
buddy.
a lot of success out there.
You're speaking our language right there.
Yeah, dude. 4.5 pound smallies, 5 pound smallies.
We love that stuff.
Whopper flopper.
Well, on the plopper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Really?
We know you're
Awesome.
a fan of the tightrope jig. Did you throw it at all?
He didn't get him in
I
time.
didn't get him in time, so
You're-
I had to.
The
settle
pro
for something
staff,
else.
the pro staff members are having the biggest trouble of getting those baits.
Exactly.
Story of our life.
Ralph
you know?
Steiger steals them all.
We're
Somehow.
working on things here.
Yeah, Ralphie got like 40. Ralph was on the show last week, and these guys gave him like 60 jigs.
You got 6.
60.
If you're out there waiting for
Yeah.
jigs,
You know how many I
we're
got?
sorry, they
None.
are coming.
Yeah, they are coming.
We're making them and sending them as
Actually,
fast
we're
as we
caught
can.
up. We're caught up. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Sorry to everyone who had to wait for
I am
jigs.
caught
I have a
up.
little bit of news.
Tell us, Bob.
What is it, Bob? Are you pregnant?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Hopefully
The
test
rabbit
doesn't-
done died.
Hopefully I'm not the father.
Just got to figure out who the real mother is first.
Fall Sturgeon Bay Open tournament was last week or the other week.
Okay.
Tim Schneider and Greg Dickinson won yet again.
Schneider.
Tim Schneider.
Again.
Nice.
You know, these guys are sticks out there.
Wait,
Tim-
did they win the spring one too?
They've won the spring one previously, I think, twice.
Right.
And Tim was the guy who caught the 8.5 pound smallmouth, one of the
Okay.
biggest ever brought in out there.
Yeah, that's
They-
a big one.
They won the fall event with 6 fish for 21 pounds, 21.31.
That's not bad.
It's not a bad.
No,
6?
It's no
tougher
Seth
this
Fighter
year.
bag.
Their big bass was 402.
Yeah.
So
402.
that's
What is going
one
on
heck
over
of
here?
a fishery.
Throwing stuff around.
You could have just asked me.
Oh, I didn't see you had that. It was hidden by JP's kitty.
I got a
JP's
bag of
kidding,
sunflower
yeah.
seeds over here if anybody wants some.
Yeehaw. Yeehaw.
That's that thing gets tough in the fall, man. I was up there.
It's-
I was up there during that tournament last year, and I didn't like it.
You know,
Some people liked it.
the
a lot.
spring
Me and you
event
sucked.
is the
Yeah, we
deal to
sucked.
go to.
Real
You're
bad.
doing the Dale Bowman, Pat Renwick.
There he goes.
You're doing the Big George
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna do it too.
I'm just gonna make dad sounds for the rest of the show.
On the microphone formerly known as Dale Bowman's microphone.
You got any of that good
You're
sarsaparilla?
kind of overdoing it though. It's more like a
Cups.
Thanks to everyone for watching the show this
yeah.
week.
This has been
We appreciate it.
Thank you, JP, because I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Help me.
Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. Brandon, thanks for coming on, dude.
Oh, most
Thanks for
definitely, man.
hanging out on the casting couch for the show too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and dude, it's an honor. Nice to see you, dude.
Yes, sir. Nice to see you too.
Thank
man.
you so much to Seth Fighter for coming on the show. Thank you to Aaron Martens for coming on the show. We wish Gerald Swindle a speedy recovery. Hopefully, we'll have him on within the next couple weeks to reschedule. And most importantly, thank you to all you viewers out there for making this show possible, because obviously you're the reason for the season right there, the viewers. Thank you so much. Next week, we got Big Old Pig, Shaw Grigsby, coming on the show. Big Old Pig, Shaw Grigsby coming on the show. Hey, Pat Renwick, Ryan Whitaker, JP.
Kitty.
So what did they vote for?
Is it the Kitty?
It's Kitty.
It's JP Kitty. That's your new name.
It's Kitty.
With what? With one vote for the Biffle Toe.
The hip
That
hop
decided
feline.
your future, JP. Kitty.
And Bobby Bergeron. Hey, thanks so much. We will catch you next week right here on StrayCast.net. Pat Renwick, I am out.
Peace.
Bye.
Fish it out.